Yeah, this telescope is a computer-controlled telescope. It's made by Meade. It's called a LX200 series telescope. It's a 12-inch scope, and this works with the Sky program, as you saw down, or with a computer-controlled hand paddle. I can just merely punch in, say, a Messier number. I'll punch in M13, which is a globular cluster, press enter, and then I'll just say go to, and the telescope will head for that target in the sky. And as you can see, it's slewed in declination and now in right ascension axis. And when it gets to that spot in the sky, it will slow down and stop. And this particular telescope, I will have a CCD camera mounted on the back of it, and when it's woken up, when you phone it, and it goes through a setup procedure, and then you merely select a target, punch on it on the computer, and then it, like you saw here, will go to that target.
How do you communicate with your telescope from Victoria if it's in Florida?
What I do is I use the internet, which of course now is the information highway. And you open an account with University of Victoria, and then I connect by telephone modem through the University of Victoria, through their computer, into the internet, and I then dial my computer up that's in Florida at the observatory, and it wakes up the telescope, tells me whether it's raining outside, what the weather conditions and temperature and relative humidity are, and then I will open up the observatory. It'll be a roll-off roof, so a motor will slide the roof off. The telescope will be woken up and activated, and then it will seek a target star to sync with the computer, again all through internet. And then once you've selected the target star and sync the telescope, then you would move the telescope onto the object that you wish to photograph. In this case, you're using an electronic CCD camera, and you download the image, which shows up on the computer screen in your home in Victoria here, and then you center up the object, select the exposure that you want, and the rest is history.
You mentioned this has CCD imaging. What's the difference between that and a regular film exposure?
Well, regular film, of course, everybody's familiar. It's silver halide crystals in the film that get chemically changed, and then it forms a latent image. You develop it, and you end up with the picture that everybody sees. A CCD camera, on the other hand, has got thousands of little light-sensitive pixels, and they receive photons and build up an electrical charge, and then that electrical charge is read out by the computer. The new chips that I'm using in the Meade Pictor camera and in the ST8 camera from the States are actually 1.5 million pixels on the little chip that forms the picture.
This seems like quite a new technology for amateur astronomers. Are you the only one doing it at this moment?
I may be the only one in Canada doing it, although there have been pilot projects running in the United States. The Mount Wilson telescope, a 24-inch mounted on top of the mountain, is being communicated to through the internet for users that wish to pay to use that telescope. Some of the universities have also got robotic telescopes already built, including UVic here in Victoria. They can actually operate the telescope from their homes. So the same technology, although it's a much shorter distance in Victoria, can be turned to much greater distance, for instance, in the Florida connection.
How far away are people from being able to use this type of technology on a commercial scale?
Well, I think the technology is there. I certainly will have other people using my installation once it's completed. I've got lots of friends that have particular projects that they're interested in, and I'm sure that once they know that I have a robotic system, they all have computers, they'll be anxious to tap into that technology.